Currently have 6 board members, one of which is a resident. So this just fills the requirement that HUD asked us to fill. And just to kind of give you some, and we actually went through the process, and we're now at the stage of the process of, we initially started out making sure that all of our residents were aware of the possibility of being a board member. We sent out over 5,000 letters requesting if people were interested. And we narrowed it down. We let the RAB board, Resident Advisory Board, narrow it down to 3. And we presented, and it was actually vetted by staff, and we presented it to the CEO's office so that they could then present it to you. So that's kind of where we are in that process. And I know you also want an update on what's going on at the Housing Authority, because we've been in the news probably more than we want to be in the news in the past, and actually a little bit in the present. But basically, I have been with the Housing Authority since, as the executive director of our files, and 50 of them had errors in them, so that was a 96% error rate. As a result of that audit, they required us to do 100% file review, which means that we have to correct and review 100% of our more than 5,700 files that we have. They gave us some time to do that, and we're on track. We've currently reviewed about 1,400 of those files, and we're on track to have it done in January of 2012. And we've been in contact with HUD, and they're comfortable with that. The sad part is we actually found out that the error rate was higher than the 96%. So, but the good news is that we're correcting them as we go along.
How could that? I mean, what are the substance of these errors? Are they?
A lot of them can be just minor errors. You know, just the errors that may seem minor, but they're actually quite critical. Like if you're calculating a tenant's rent, it could be $5 off. But, you know, it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it adds up, and it is an error. You can be missing an employee verification that they...
defect that has resulted in this high error rate?
Well, that's what we've actually addressed that very strongly, too. We've made significant changes in staffing. We just went through a week-long training investment in correcting all these errors, and then it go all for naught by making the same errors again. So we're working real hard, and we have, and that was a very good question. I will say that we didn't have a lot of compliance review. We didn't have enough, and maybe we were understaffed, or maybe we didn't have people in the right place, but now we have significant oversight, significant quality control in place. So we feel very good about what we're doing now, in particular after this training that we went through, the week-long training. So, you know, those are some of the things that we're doing to address that. The other thing that was an issue was that we had, in essence, it was, according to the Inspector General, we had, in essence, spent money that was meant for housing assistance payments for administrative fees to the tune of approximately $2.5 million. And they had suggested that we do a forensic audit. We came in, and some of the people that I brought in, and we actually performed our own audit of the situation. We pretty much agreed that they were correct. So there wasn't a forensic audit would pretty much be reconstructing everything, you know, for the past 5 years, and it would have probably cost about $500,000 to do that. So, based on our findings, we did not see that HUD was incorrect in their assessment of what had transpired. So, we are now in negotiations with them how we can pay that money back, and they have been very, very cooperative, amenable, and I would rather not comment on the specific negotiations, but it has been doing actually what I would consider very well. We're really trying to make sure that HUD understands everything that's going on within our authority, and we feel like the relationship is excellent right now.
The 2.5, Mr. McCann, is that over a period of what time?
Over a period of 5 years, from 2000, it was 2009 and back. One of the other things that we're actually very proud of this year is that we're on the fiscal year, July 1st through June 30th. So our fiscal year ended June 30th, 2012. We submitted, and it was approved by our board, a break-even plus budget. So, we are operating within the revenue sources that we have. And, I think if you can look at over a 4 or 5 year period operating in the red to the tune of about at least $2.5 million, you can see what an achievement that has been. But we've done we're very cost conscious. And people are just working hard and trying to do what we need to do to make it a success. So we presented a break-even plus budget. We've also invested in our infrastructure. We've gotten we're getting a new computer system. Our computers were 8 years old. Our phone system was probably 12 years old. Anybody who's tried to call probably can't. But next month you'll be able to get through. And also, in addition to that, we've implemented significant financial controls, because a lot of this, as you may know, really is a result of not having adequate financial controls. And that's one reason why I felt like I was a good fit for this, because that's where my background is in financial. And we have implemented significant financial controls. We had same audit findings in our audit over and over again, financial audit, and we've addressed all of those in great detail. Just simple things like making sure that we do bank reconciliations on a monthly basis, making sure that funds aren't commingled. We've done a great deal, and we feel very good about the direction we're headed in right now. And this is just another thing that we're trying to do, is make sure that the composition of our board is accurate and correct as well. So I'm willing to answer any questions.
How are you treating the $2.5 million liability on your balance sheet? Have you booked that?
It is booked, yes.
Okay, so that's a long-term liability? Is that how you're treating it?
It depends on what HUD allows us to do, but that is my goal for it to be a long-term liability.
What is the status of your real estate portfolio? I know last year y'all let a pretty big property go back to lender. Anything else like that?
No. As a matter of fact, that is very upsetting to even think about that happened. But no, we don't have anything, and that's actually one of the pluses. That's one of the pluses that in looking at the housing authority, when you look at the things that we could do to correct the situation, one of the things that we had been able to build up over a long period of time was a fairly significant reserve as a result of having bond transactions and bond funding and very little expenses related to those transactions. And the other thing is we actually have some fairly significant equity in the remaining portfolio. So we do, if HUD or if anybody else, if we have some liabilities that become short-term instead of long-term, we do have some ability to potentially liquidate and do what we need to do in those cases.
Other questions?
Pete, thank you for coming. I know you've just taken over. Congratulations. A couple of questions. One would be, how many residents have, I know you just got there, you can get this answer given back to me, how many residents have moved into home ownership? Is that something, you keep those type of records?
Yes, we do. I just don't know that off the top of my head.
Can you make sure I get that? Because the goal is, I'm hoping that what you all provide is a temporary assistance. It's something that we should eventually move people towards permanent housing. The other question was, what is the percentage of people who actually work at the housing authority of residents, who hire residents who are part of the system to work in them, to actually work there?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you exactly what that percentage was.
Okay. But just something to get back to me.
Yeah, that would be fine. That was certainly one of the things. We were really trying to find good, strong people who we felt comfortable that they could do the job. So that was our focus over the most recently. But I will definitely get back to you with that question.
The other thing is, I'm glad to see one of your members here from the Housing Authority and the future member. Can we start getting the minutes to the meetings?
Sure.
Get them sent to all the commissioners. Last question is in regards to Section 8. Are you all doing spot checks to go out to see who's actually living there, supposed to be there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's
You
part
make sure you provide that to the commissioners who has a high percentage of Section 8 rentals in their community, because that's one of the questions we get all the time, and they blame everything on Section 8 sometimes, but you may have just regular rental, people just renting, but they automatically assume that they're Section 8. But I just want to make sure we have a list of folks that you all doing spot checks, and you also are doing classes on people who do get homes in communities on how to run a household.
Absolutely.
Those type of things. Okay.
Yes, sir. That's a big part of what we're trying to do. We do want this to be a transitional program rather than a forever type program. And I think that we're lobbying whenever we have an opportunity to speak to anybody that's in a decision-making capacity. We do encourage that to allow us to implement the program so that it can be something so that we can focus on training. And if we do have residents that are out in a house that is a requirement that they participate in training and show, and we do have at least annual inspections that go on. So we have to inspect everything at least annually.
Will we do like they're doing in Decatur with some of our older housing? Just, tear them down and build better quality housing. I think Toby Grant is one of the oldest ones. Is there anything in the future to move it to a modern type of development?
Yes, sir. We're in the embryonic stages of working on a new redevelopment plan for Toby Grant. And initially we're going to have to talk to the neighborhood and also partner with the county. We've actually started some of those conversations. We're very excited about that because we think that what's been going on in Johnson Ferry has been a great success. It's been a great success, and we want to try to duplicate that wherever we can. I'm sure it'll be a little bit different, but we feel really good about what
I just think I saw Johnson Ferry was great, and just the folks at Toby Grant know they deserve to have that type of quality.
Absolutely.
The oldest one, and some people may be scared to move forward, but that's something we need to talk to them about. But I just think we got to, it's like we back in those times. Decatur's looking pretty good.
It really is.
Across the street, so.
Well, the advantage we have with Toby Grant is that we can actually have them talk to the Johnson Ferry residents who had the same concerns. And now we can take them out and say, hey, talk to someone who actually went through it, who was very satisfied with where they were, and who now is ecstatic about where they are. So we have a great advantage this time, and we hopefully will use that to our advantage.
Other questions?
Maybe in the future, I think, Mr. Johnson brought up a great point. Do you keep up with the migration numbers of the people that might be here from as a result of what they did in Atlanta and also from Hurricane Katrina that have different addresses than in DeKalb County? Do you keep those numbers?
Yes, we have information. We have what's called, we have 3,800 vouchers and then we have 1,900 ports, which means that 1,900 people came from somewhere else. And a lot of that is from Atlanta. I think we probably have 1,200 from Atlanta.
Could you get that to us as well?
Sure.
Just so we can look at that.
Chair, you going to allow Ms. Hudson to make a statement?
Yeah, after we had gotten done with this part with Mr. Walker, I was going to move to...
I have a question. When you say get it, would you like me to get it to just the committee or to everybody on the commission?
You give it to the...
Yeah, we'll distribute it. You don't have to incur the cost. So if you'll just send it to our committee, T.J. Sigler is staff to the committee, and then we can send it.
But one of the things we hope that you can come by at least quarterly. So we want, one of the things that I hate, I can't speak for the commission, I just hate reading about things and seeing the paper, the news first, and then you come to us afterwards and try to explain it, and then we got to go out here and defend it, and then we back against the wall because everybody say this is the commission. So we want everybody to be proactive and let us know what's going on ahead of time. Refer to the chair, let him know, he'll get back to us. But we would like to see, I didn't see the stuff in the news, but if it was out there, it'd be good for us to know about it before it hits the fan. because we're going to find out anyway. Somebody write a letter or whatever going to tell us what would be best for you to tell us before we hear from other people. All right, thank you.
We'll make every effort to do that. Good. Any other parting comments? Because if not, Ms. Hudson, could you join us also? You can certainly stay, Mr. Walker, if you'd like, and support her on this.
Really thought much on it.
Okay.
But as far as the processing, I heard someone tap in on it as far as the recertification.
Okay.
There's a speediness of, getting out and getting the recertification and work towards customer service, efforts to build upon that.
Okay. That's all.
No, sir, I'm fine. Seems like she's a fine resident of our District 7 and 5, so I'm pretty happy.
Any other questions? I would entertain a motion on agenda item.
I'm sure I'd like to make a motion to appoint Ms. Hudson to the Housing Department.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so what I think we should do is go ahead and advance this to the agenda in our next cycle, and then we, having already made that recommendation, we can determine whether or not the commission wants to put it on either our consent agenda or wants to hear our recommendation. Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for offering for service. We appreciate your help.
How is it going to get the road going?
All right, next item on our agenda. We'll look forward to seeing you soon, Mr. Walker. Is the ordinance to amend the code of DeKalb County to revise modifications of conditional zoning amendments regulation for other purposes. Is there a presentation that we'll have on this? Oh, great.
Not really a presentation, Commissioners, but I do have Marion Eisenberg, the new zoning administrator, to talk about the specifics of this minor modification made.
Yes. After we are done with this, we've got, let's see, we've got the ARC, 5-year short-term work programs.
No, already talked to this.